also known as AHF. We have a spectacular turnout this morning here in Fort Myers for the grand opening. People are coming from all over for something so important as the expansion of AIDS Healthcare Foundation in our community. So thrilled, and it's been such a great pleasure to have covered this organization over the past 4 or 5 years. Great meeting Amy Pinter along the way. Guess who's here now? The CEO of this national and international organization of AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We're so thrilled to get him here, and my understanding is he was the founder. Huge in the grand scope. Let's get his name. What's your full name?
My name is Michael Weinstein.
Mike, am I correct that you were the founder?
I was a co-founder, myself and one other person, yes, in 1987.
1987.
Yeah.
And to arrive at this point, I know you've seen other grand openings and ribbon cuttings throughout the process as you guys have expanded around the world. Am I fair saying around the world?
That is correct, 47 countries.
Right.
2 million lives in care.
Could you have envisioned that expansion when you first started?
No, we started as the AIDS Hospice Foundation. We started just with the idea of giving people a dignified death because that's all we could do. Life expectancy was 13 months, and we were only located in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then from there, we moved to the process that we've gotten to right now, where that whole idea of 13 months has pretty much gone out of the way if you get your proper education, prevention, knowledge along that way came along, and take your meds, you can live a full life. And there's a whole lot of preventive things that are in place now these days. Shout out, before you go, shout out to our scientists, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's night and day from where we were. Now people can live a life that's not dominated by their HIV status. They do a pit stop with us. They get their medication, they get their checkups, and they're on to their lives. And that's what we always had hoped for. And, we're at one pill once a day. So the people who are listening who are at risk, or people who know they're positive who are not in routine care, which is about half of all people living with HIV in this country, come see us and know that care is not a burden. It's a benefit, and we want everyone in the sound of my voice and the in the reach of this signal to know that we're here to serve, and that you can live a wonderful, long life living with HIV these days.
Regardless of your economic status and station in life, you can get assistance.
Our mission statement is cutting edge medicine and advocacy regardless of ability to pay, and no one will be turned away for lack of insurance.
Okay. The current state, the stigma, I remember the stigma, it seems to have, to a certain degree, not be as bad as it used to be. I want you to speak to it, though. We still have a lot more education to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, part of the shame associated with HIV comes from sexuality itself, right? Which is, our country, we're kind of hedonistic in our behavior and moralistic in our attitudes, which is not a very good combination. But the reality is that there's only a few of us who were here by virtue of a turkey baster. So the rest of us are here because of a sex act. And so sex is part of life, and we should embrace it. And the reality of the matter is that it's no one's fault that you're HIV positive. It's a circumstance that people were unlucky to be in that circumstance, but they can be lucky in terms of getting the care that they need. And I hope that the people who are currently in care will send that message. They're the best people to send that message to the rest of the community, right? That they're thriving. You might see our bus benches or billboards around that have a picture of a person and it says thriving, and that's where we're at. And we want that service to be available to more people.
Mm-hmm. We see a nice crowd of a wide range of people who are assembling out here for the ribbon cutting. When you see that type of turnout and that type of enthusiasm around this type of healthcare and education, what does that do for you?
Well, it's just really gratifying. I mean, I don't get out to most of the sites, we have 1,000 sites in the world that we operate in. I don't get out to most of them, and but when I do, I get to feel the dedication of the staff, the support of the community, and the culture that we've created around non-judgmental, life-affirming care. And it's extremely satisfying. I just want to say though that I come and cut a ribbon, and I get credit for a lot of things that I had very little to do with, because we have 8,000 staff around the world, and we have an amazing crew here in Fort Myers, and the glory really goes to them and so many of them have worked in this field for so long, and I just feel like I want to express my appreciation for that.
You said that you talked about the thousands of centers around the world, and you can't get to them all. Any particular reason why you chose to make your pilgrimage here for this particular moment?
Well, there's a legacy in this community. There was a group called ICANN that AHF merged with, and which was having difficulties, and we were able to keep it going, and that was a great thing. And I think though that a lot of times people think of HIV as a big city problem, right? And they don't realize that it exists in rural areas, it exists in smaller cities. And I think that, this is our hub really for the west coast of Florida. And I just felt it was important to be here, primarily again to really support the staff, because they, we thought we might have gotten wiped out in the old facility by Ian, and then, and the roof leaked and the air conditioning didn't work, and so they've bared up under those circumstances, and I felt like it was important to be here to christen their new home.
And that's something. Survived all of that, and now looking at what I'm looking at, and you got a chance to observe this facility. From what I see, it looks like it's top notch.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of how people feel about the care they get is the place that they go to get it. And when you come here, you're feeling like it's fresh, and it's clean, and it's inviting. And not just for the patients, but for the staff as well, because they're the ones who spend their days here. And I mean, it's from where I sit, in my office in Los Angeles, I don't get to see firsthand what the care is like and what the staff is doing. So when I get out to places like this and I realize, that we're planting a seed here, that's like, or an acorn and a mighty oak is going to grow. And that's what it's all about. It's all about service.
It seems like that holistic approach to the person and the family is on full display here. I see a place here like a clothes pantry where you can get clothes. I see a food where you can get groceries and so on and so forth. And that's a part of the whole structure of the healthcare?
Yeah, I mean, you can't look at healthcare in isolation. I mean,
and I saw pharmacists here.
Yeah. I mean, if a person doesn't have food to eat, how can they maintain their health? How can they focus on their health if they don't have a roof over their head? If they don't have clothing to wear? Yeah, I mean, our primary focus is healthcare, but there are these adjuncts to it that are extremely important.
One final question before I let you go. Did you come from a medical background? Are you some type of doctor or something like that?
I am not. I had no background in healthcare and none in management. So I started out purely as an advocate, and then we had the first opportunity in Los Angeles to create a hospice on the grounds of an old TB hospital, which was a hospital for respiratory diseases, and we created it, and the rest is history. I mean, we went in 1996. Our first site outside of LA was here in Florida, in Jacksonville, and then in 2000, when I attended the International AIDS Conference in Durban, South Africa, that was the start of our global program.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you to drop by here. It looks like we're getting close to ribbon cutting ceremony. Hope to get you on the show in the future as well.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Keep up the great work.
Bye-bye.
Couldn't have done it without you. So remember, Miami might have the oranges, but the AIDS Healthcare Foundation here in Fort Myers has got the juice. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Lead Pits Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lead Pits Live, and there you go.